What is going on, Tarnished? And don't forget about those Elden Lords.
Oh yeah!
And Maidenless. In this video, I will be taking a look at the two items you can get from the Remembrance of the Dragonlord. Dragon King's Cragblade, and Placidusax Ruin. Let's get started. Dragon King's Cragblade is a heavy thrusting sword that does physical and lightning damage at +10, strength is at D, and dex is at B. This weapon has a very quick and linear playstyle, with good reach and solid damage. The unique skill is called Thundercloud Form. Temporarily transform into a red thundercloud, fly through the air, then come crashing down with a lightning attack. Hold the skill longer to increase the reach. Next up, we have Placidusax Ruin. You will need 36 faith to cast this incantation. It costs 62 FP, and takes up 3 memory slots. The caster transforms into the Dragonlord, and spews out a golden breath that violently flails around, damaging any enemy that comes into contact with the golden laser. This incantation can also be used while jumping. Real quick, this is my gear and stats for the review. The very first thing I noticed was that you cannot Batman down on enemies from above with Thundercloud, but the weapon is quick, and the skill can close the gap on enemies from a distance. It hits very hard, and the damage actually surprised me. Something that it doesn't tell you in the description is that Thundercloud hits any enemy that gets near it. So, if you are leaping at an enemy in close combat, you could essentially do a lot of damage from the cloud's lightning, before the plunge attack. This is huge on boss fights, and I found myself doing an insane amount of damage. This skill could be useful in PvP. You can pop out of cover, and lunge forward at enemies for surprise attacks. The light and heavy attacks do good damage, but careful not to get overrun by enemies because there is a lack of AoE and horizontal attacks. You've seen the damage, and what the skill is capable of. Now let's try it on some bosses. Now let's talk about Placidusax Ruin. This incantation can be good, or bad in the right hands. It can do a lot of damage, but the chances of hitting targets is very low, unless you know how to use it, of course. Did you notice that? The initial cast causes an AoE attack, which is very nice. Only problem with it is that you will be stuck in the animation for a while, so this incantation will take precision to pull off successfully. It almost seems random at times on what enemies the laser will hit, but it always goes across from one side to the other, but the last part will do a vertical attack, which can be controlled for some solid damage. Placidusax ruin shines on bigger targets, especially if you are up close, because the laser can do a lot of sustained damage as long as it is hitting the enemy. Right here is a good example of controlling the vertical attack. Nice. The AoE seems to have decent range, but one thing I did notice is that you can only tank very light damage from enemies. Most of the time, getting hit cancels the cast, so keep that in mind. Now let's check it out against tougher enemies. Overall, I think I enjoyed both of these items, but in terms of reliability and amazing damage, Dragon King's Cragblade is a must-have, especially on your first playthrough, plus it's something different compared to the same old Rivers of Blood, Moonveil, and other meta weapons people use right now. I would only grab Placidusax Ruin if I was doing a faith build, but even so, there are way better incantations to choose from. So that's the end of the video. Let me know which one you ended up getting. Thanks for watching, like, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace. Wow, are you serious? Double KO.